Do, 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 do. Hey, how you doing? Now, you would think from the title of this video about why government is evil that I'd be talking about politics, but I'm not. Seems like a distinction without a difference, doesn't it? Well, there is a difference. I don't care about politics. I never discuss it. However, we can make, and no one ever makes these observations, not a single person that I know, there might be somebody out there, has ever talked about this fact. Yeah? Now, I'm going to take some positions that you may or may not agree with. I read every comment, feel free to disagree. I'm certainly not an anarchist, not in any way, shape, or form. Of course, laws and morality are for, well, they're for commoners. They're really for people that don't know right from wrong. If it were the case that most, which is very, very far, I mean, there's like less than 1/10 of 1% of the world that knows what should and should not be done, but laws exist for, well, let's be honest here, filthmongers and people that, or want to steal and do evil things, and so we developed government. Government is evil. I don't care if you agree with me or not, but all forms of government are evil. Some are way worse than others, obviously so. I'm not going to get into discussing which ones are worse than others, because then just everybody, they just start spitting blood. They just get so angry. I don't care what anybody believes in. I could care less what anybody believes in. Yeah, I don't even care what I believe in. I'm only interested in facts, logic, and wisdom. There are many reasons why government is evil. I only really want to talk about a couple, three of them. First off, government is not alive. Yeah, we want to talk about something that's inherently evil. It's moving, but it's not alive, like a zombie that goes around eating brains. Government's exactly like that. Government is literally not alive. Government is not a living thing, even though there's a lot of people that work for government. And by the way, I have to be brutally honest, and, I know some people work for government because certain aspects of the government pay really well, especially subcontractors, yeah? They subcontract out work for the government, and it pays really well. But I really have absolutely no respect for anybody that works for the government. I really don't. And I'll get to that here very, very quickly. And I'd like for this to be a short video. I'd like to hear what you think. And I don't care about politics. I don't ever discuss it, and I don't want to know what you think about politics. I'm not interested in discussing that topic. This is about the logical position of government itself. If people had, a mind in their head and knew right from wrong, we wouldn't need it. If we actually speculate about an advanced group of beings on some sort of parallel universe somewhere, and everybody was taught and imbued with a significant amount of wisdom, yes, there would be absolutely zero need for government. There would be zero need for politicians, and there would be zero need for laws. If something broke down that the community used, they would pitch together in whatever logical fashion to fix it, or replace it, or rebuild it. If there were some more children, then, some like a larger park might be built, and people would chip in time or effort, so on and so forth. There would never be a need for government. Government is literally an answer to human failure. But here's something else that government is, and I've never heard anybody else make this representation. And we'll be combining the words eidolon and latria, the worship of idols. Remember where, and I don't care if you believe this is true or not, obviously Christians do, So do Hebrews. I don't care. I'm not talking about religion. Remember when Moses came down from the mountain, the biblical story, if we will, and all the people had sinned, and they built a golden calf, and then they all started, sacrificing to the golden calf, and they started, throwing, milk, pouring milk and honey on top of the golden calf. That really is what government is. Government is this non-living idol. People that love government are really idol worshippers. They really are. I mean, that's not meant to be a joke. It is this icon, a symbol. Germany had theirs in 1940. Every government has theirs, whether it be more stratified or more esoteric, doesn't really matter. People take innocent, government does. People, living beings, work for this, because government is not alive. Once again, there's no government that has ever been alive, never has been. And they, like in the old days, they would actually have blood sacrifices to the idol. Remember the Mayans? And there are records of Spanish conquistadors witnessing this, so we know it's accurate. They would cut people's hearts out, the blood would run down the pyramid, and they would worship, and of course there would be Quetzalcoatl, I forget whichever Mayan god it was. They would sacrifice. There would be people, they're like government workers. That's really what they are. It's the reason why I've never, ever in my life had respect for a government worker. Other than paying my taxes, I ignore them, and I consider them to be lower than a cockroach. Maybe you work for the government and that pisses you off. I don't really care, but I do consider them to be lower than worms and cockroaches. But they are like people that feed this insentient, unalive idol. Just as the ancients would do blood sacrifices to an idol, a golden idol, an ivory idol, they would feed it, and they would build temples around it, and they would build more temples. It's like, well, here's the main temple, in Greece, there'd be the main temple, and there'd be all these satellite temples. Government's exactly like that. We have the main government in whatever main city, in the case of the United States, is Washington, right? And then be all these little satellite places where other idol worshippers, which are government workers, would feed the beast. And they would make all the peasants and all the other people suffer as they feed the beast. You got to come in and stick some gold coins in the box, to keep building more temples and building more icons to, worship. Like, oh... I kind of say that humorously, but no one's ever said it before that I know of. There might be somebody that has, but I've never encountered it. And that government is an idol, and government workers are idol worshippers, and they sacrifice innocent people to that idol. They literally do that. I can't even think of the number of government agencies that, has done horrible, horrible, horrible things to countless entities and groups of entities, we think we're so much better than the Mayans that were carving people's hearts out, the blood was running down the pyramid. Government is exactly like that. Government is not alive once again, so here's the case too. The only real answer is the philosopher king, which is never going to happen because everybody in government is a fool. They're really the lowest grade of mental midget, knuckle draggers that are out there. They really are intellectual filth. Not only do they have no wisdom, they have the antithesis of wisdom. If everybody on earth, just imagine this, lived to be 1,000 years old and everybody had free food and free houses and free real education, and life was easy, right? Everybody lived to be 1,000 years. There would still be so much suffering and strife due to primordial agnosis, because so-and-so's wife is hotter than your wife. the sun shines on their house in the morning and it doesn't shine on your house in the morning. You might be, 900 years old and you covet your neighbor who's only 200 years old. Government has never, ever been, never will be any answer to anything. The only thing you could do is fix yourself by erasing out primordial agnosis. Once again, I don't care about politics. This video is not about politics at all, so please don't even try to make it about that, okay? But yeah, government is a false god. It's an idol, that the heathens would sacrifice innocence to, pour milk and honey on top of, and they'd worship it. And when they had a temple so big you couldn't make it any bigger, it's like, well, let's make more temples, like little satellite temples. It's exactly what government does. Every county in America has its own little stooge government temple where you go and you sacrifice yourself, and not willingly. Yeah, but their little minions reach out and try to destroy your life. You're leading a simple life, trying to feed your wife and kids, lead a simple... Oh, but no, you can't do that. The government minions got to send you bills. Like, we need money so we could sacrifice more stuff and build more temples to the idol of government. It's like, oh, okay, so I got to give these people money that they end up wasting and throwing away. I mean, government is filth. And, neighbor's dog's barking back there, huh? These people really are lower than cockroaches. All of them are that work for that. They are literally like priests, sacrificing innocents, pouring, blood over the golden idol, taking your money to make their lives richer. So, like, they can have a nicer mansion that surrounds the temple that feeds the false god. Government is exactly like that. It is idol worship in its truest sense. So, I thought it would be interesting to approach the metaphysics of government. Yeah, and no, I'm not an anarchist, okay? I know someone's going to say that. Yeah, you're right, man. Everything you said is right. That's why I'm an anarchist. It's like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Once again, I'm not interested in what other people believe in, and I don't care about discussing politics. Please don't bring politics into this. So, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.